Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm Nikki McCutchen, and I will be your host this evening. We have got an amazing testimonial call for you tonight. I cannot wait for you to hear it, and I always want to jump the gun because I'm so excited. But just know that whoever invited you to call tonight must really care about you to want you to know about this technology. The call tonight will be for 30 minutes. And if we have new people on the call, we'll be talking about the X39 and how it activates this amazing peptide in our bodies. With that, I'm going to start with our medical disclaimer. Tonight, what we will be sharing is for informational purposes only. All LifeWave products are not intended to treat, cure, diagnose, or prevent any disease. If you are on medications or have a medical condition or are pregnant or nursing, please check with your healthcare practitioner first. And with that, I want to introduce you to a friend I made on the cruise when we went to the Mediterranean with LifeWave. Veronica has got this amazing story. I was literally sitting there at the table crying. I mean, like, it is truly jaw dropping. So I could not wait for her to be able to tell you all her story as well, because this is what this amazing technology can do for us. And so, with that, Veronica, if you would come on and just share with us how you were introduced to the technology, why you decided to get started, and what it has done for you.
Okay, well, thank you. It was really nice meeting you and your family too. We really had a wonderful week there on that cruise. And thank you for inviting me. I guess I should start with a little bit of background so you know where I was coming from before I was introduced to the patches. I In 2014, I received concussions back to back that I just did not heal from. My brain did not compensate, so was put on disability, and just my health just started going down. And I remembered in 2015, the last time I had gone on a cruise, I was wheelchaired onto that cruise. I don't know if you have those photos that I
Yes,
sent you,
ma'am,
the
I
befores
do.
and afters.
Yeah, you want
If
me
you
to
put
pull
the
them up?
befores up, then that kind of helps me
Okay.
as I'm talking. Um,
Yeah, Pastor Ed, will you grab those befores? Because even though I have them up on the back side, it's not letting me grab them.
Yeah, WhatsApp them for me, please.
Yeah, they're in there.
One sec.
so
I'm getting it, hon.
Okay.
I could keep sharing while
Yes,
you're looking
sorry,
for
keep
those.
going. I'm so sorry. We'll get them. Yes.
So I would lose my depth perception really easy. And the reason that would happen is because ever since I was a child, I had a hole in my left eye, which gave me a blind spot and inner ear damage. So I never walked straight. I'd always walk to the left if someone came to the left, go through the threshold, my eyes would open up. So I barometric pressure change. I have so much brain damage that it's like somebody who's 30, 40 years old. They say my brain is actually someone who's like in dementia. And you'll see to the lower left, that picture there, that's me going onto a cruise ship, the last one I had gone on before this one. And I would have to use a scooter if I was going to somewhere where there was going to be a lot of walking, or a walker. The walker, and I guess my ego got in the way for the longest time that I wouldn't use a walker, and I would just walk to one direction or the other, not knowing that I was, because of the brain damage that I had. And so whenever the weather changed, just clouds rolling in, it would be like I had a vice on my head, the barometric pressure changing. So me getting on an airplane, which I found out going to Europe, didn't bother me at all. I was in no pain. So that was like this wonderful thing that happened. So and pandemic hit, so whatever I already had prior just like made things 10 times worse. And I ended up with the virus twice, ended up in the hospital once, and they ended up putting that experimental drug for 6 days into me, which caused really high levels of mercury and arsenic in my body, where I would have pain all the way to my bones, that I was using the walker in my home. And I lost a lot of hair. And anyways, I was really, really sick. I met this wonderful doctor, and he would give me IVs and ozone, which helped me get to my somewhat normal. And then last year, February, I'm calling him and telling him I'm getting really sick. So like every year on January, I get sick, and it's because it's just like something inside me triggers like that virus back in me. And so when he saw me, well, on February 15th, I was taking 21 supplements because my body did not absorb nutrients. I had liver disease and really sick. So when I stopped taking those supplements, my nail would literally lift off the nail bed. And if anybody's had that happen, that is extremely painful. So on that Friday, the 17th, my appointment, I get in there. Two doctors tried getting an IV or blood from me, and they couldn't. They tried 12 times. The doctor felt really bad. I'd have to get driven or take a cab. I had to have somebody help me walk in, walk out, just really weak. And he just a month prior, one of his patients had come in with the patches and introduced him. And so I knew he felt really bad. And then he was giving me shots like these and vitamins just to give me something because he wanted to give me something. And then he walks over to the corner of his office to his briefcase and he puts his hand in and he pulls out that beautiful blue envelope, folder that says X39 on it. And he brings it to me and says, Veronica, you respond well to energetic medicine. I want you to start wearing these patches. And 12 hours on, 12 hours on, and I was all excited. And he goes and shows me, goes, see, I have one right here. And he was wearing one. He just started 1 month. So I did what he said. Very next day. Now, mind you, I'm coming from a throbbing liver, a lot of head pain, body aches all the way to my bone, just really weak. And it was our anniversary. My daughter was coming to pick my husband and I up to take us out. And I remember I'm in the car for 20 minutes and realizing my liver's not throbbing, my head is not hurting. I'm starting to feel okay. We get to our destination, we're there, and they didn't even notice this, but I didn't take my walker out. Okay, they went in before me, and I just went in. And my daughter, when she did, she comes over to me and she says, "Mom, where's your walker?" And I go, "Mia, I don't feel like I need it. And if I do, I have you or your daddy." And she gives me this big old hug. And just think about it, mother-daughter connection. She gives me this big old hug. And all of a sudden, I feel this energy just burst through my body, and she felt it. It pulled her back, and she's like, "Whoa, what was that?" And I go, "I don't know, but I put this patch on me," and I go, "And something good is happening." And she's thinking, "Oh no, I got to take you home." And I'm like, "No, you don't. I'm good." And then little time goes by, and I'm feeling something going on in my brain. And with the condition I have, I could feel my organs. I could feel things, and I felt something going on. I mean, it was waking up my brain. So when I got home that night, I just started studying David Schmidt, Lifeway. I was watching, 3 videos a night, the hour-long their Product Connect. I was watching those. I go back to the very next day, the nail starts going back onto the finger and I go in on Wednesday and I show him and I'm like, and look, the nails are coming back onto my nail bed. I feel really good. I have this energy. But I listened to what David said. If somebody has conditions, they need help, you need to help them. So I knew to get Eon because of the inflammation, carnosine because of the organs, and glutathione, who's my immune system, and that X49 for the cognition, right? So I was doing, and when I went in October, I found out that was what's known as the Fabulous Five. So my family, we were all using them. So if you show the after pictures now, I can show you what happened. So in 3 weeks, I was hiking, we were hiking. I hadn't hiked in 14 years. So
Sorry, wrong one. Keep talking.
yeah, it's the next one. So in 3 weeks, we went hiking. We hiked a mountain close by here that I've always wanted to do. I had this list of things that I wanted to do in life. And when I was that sick, I just knew there wasn't much I could do. You just write off all these things that you're never going to be able to do. And besides, you have doctor after doctor after doctor telling you you'll never do this again, right? Or you're not even going to live so long and things like that. And so we went on this hike, and you'll see my whole family's there. We even took the dogs. And the wonderful thing was that all of us expected to be sore or pain because after, exercising, after not exercising for years, you're going to feel that lactic acid buildup and all that. We had none. None of us had any. We were all like, wow. So, what they say about X49, X39 together. Well, we got to know what that's like. So then you see us up on the very top of the mountain when I did. And then I was being able to take trips, like just day trips and stuff where I'm told that you can't, I couldn't be able to travel. I would lose my equilibrium. I'd get dizzy. Somebody would have to help me. So I would actually have family and friends tell me that it was more trouble than it was worth. So I would be rejected, and that was painful. So you see the picture down in the lower left there. I'm up in a ski lodge, and I'm standing balanced on a boulder. It was raining. I had an umbrella, and I'm like Mary Poppins there. So that's like one of my favorite pictures that I was able to do that. So in 6 weeks in, I was able to drive. I drove through winding mountains to see my parents, to let them know, and they were like in shock and crying and the whole bit. They couldn't believe that I was doing this. But the wonderful thing about that day, I hadn't driven by myself since 2012, is that for the first time ever, driving home, the sun was setting, everything went dark. All my life, I had to wear the dark glasses that you saw me wearing in the first picture because I had light sensitivity because of the hole in my eye, and I would get real easy sensory overload. So here I am driving, everything goes dark. I have to take the glasses off, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what's happening? I'm not sensitive to the light. Nothing's hurting me. I go to the eye doctor, and she takes all these tests. I'm telling her about this technology. I'm telling her how I'm hearing David talk, and somebody's talking about eye protocols. And before I do, get your baseline. So I wanted her to get my baseline. Well, check this out. I was just wearing the patches as they said in the booklet. I wasn't putting them on my eyes or anything. And so whenever she sees me, I can tell she found something. She did 3 hours. She had me in there. And she just says, and she goes like this, I'm really skeptical, but I want you to do what the scientist said. And I want you to put the patches on, however he said them, you'll be my test subject. And I was really excited. And she's telling me, I just can't believe how could that technology change 57-year-old structural damage that happened to you when you were an infant. Oh, I got chilled all over. Yeah. And I told her, God knows. And I gave her the pamphlet. I wrote on the back of it. I told her, look this up. She goes, I am. And but it wasn't just, how they say stem cells and all this activation. It wasn't just stem cells. People have healing crises. My healing crisis was mental and emotional. I was like, God, I was a little girl. I was making stem cells. How come this never healed? Why did I have to go through what I went through, suffer what I had to? Maybe it's for these kind of moments. Maybe it's for when I stand in front of somebody and talk to somebody and I share with somebody that everything I went through was to get me to this moment here in time, and for me to share and let people know this technology exists. So there's something in there. However he folds light, whatever message he gave, my body listened. And it started to, you can see in my eye scan, the tissue is growing in the center of it. Okay. And so when I got scanned last time, she's saying, you're stable. You're still stable. Like, like she's expecting it to go back. And people ask me, so you think that hole will come back, whatever? And I'm just like, I say no, because like scars on your bodies, have you noticed that? I've noticed that my scars have gone like to flat lines, like the body's just healing. So those scars I had on my liver are not there. I just got checked again yesterday. The scars are still not there. I don't have any fibrosis liver anymore. So the body, I know I have more healing to do. I'm going to keep on healing. Just hearing what you heard, right? In the varicose veins gone. I mean, all these little things I'm getting as time goes on. People keep saying I look younger and younger. I'm just going to keep on. And you saw those pictures. I got to meet David finally on that ship, and I got to thank him. He talked about what's coming, and he says that we're going to be able to experience a lot more miracles. So I went up to him and I shook his hand and I says, I'm one of those miracles you talk about. And he thanked me And I'm thinking, I'm right. And I'm really excited about to see what he's going to bring. And that's supposed to help this technology like 3 times more working faster in our system. I'm just like, what a blessing. What a blessing. And the gratitude I have is, it's to infinity. And I had promised Christina when I met her in October that, I'll pay it forward. And I do. I share as often as I can, wherever I can. And people need to know this technology exists.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh, it's always like, am I going to be able to talk after hearing your story? I mean, it just is so amazing. This is what we have a hold of, y'all. This is what we can help people with. It just blows me away every time. There's always something that's just so amazing. So you started with the X39. You started noticing, really started feeling things right away. And then how long was it before you were able to get on the Eon, carnosine, glutathione, and X49?
It's like 10 days
10 days.
from
Okay.
where I learned
Yeah.
and then I received my, yes.
Yeah. So you had the eye issue you had since you were a little girl. So, and then you had the injuries in 2012, you said, right?
Yeah, 2014 is when I got those concussions back to back.
Okay.
Because with the condition I had, I lose my equilibrium easy. It's easy to get concussions. So I get concussions really. I even got a concussion this March, okay? However, for the first time, I couldn't drive for 2 weeks. I had like this flashback. I got a little scared thinking, oh my gosh, my doctor said, don't worry about it. And then 2 weeks later, he's calling me, checking on me. And I've been studying. I'm a scanner for the office. I'm going to school. I'm learning things where before I wasn't able to do that because so much brain damage. And he was just like, Veronica, do you realize 2 weeks after a concussion and you're studying and that's not, something I was ever able to do. He goes, if
Right.
only your doctors could see you now, if only those ones who told you you could never do this, that, or the other could only see you now and see everything that you're doing. So my body compensated for the first time in 10 years. My body compensated, my brain compensated for that damage and I did. When that concussion happened, I had patches all over my face, all over my head, and I'll rotate them now, right? Even when we were on the ship, like that's something that would give somebody like vertigo or nausea or something. You see them always wearing those patches. Where I was thinking, I'm just put my Eon right there, rotated around my head, and I put it right behind my ear.
Yes, that's awesome. Yes, and so did you all see that? I mean, I just want to make sure that you saw. She was in a walker, she was in a wheelchair, then she is balancing on a mountain, on a rock, in the rain with an umbrella. I mean, like, it just makes me want to jump up and down, dance. I'm sure everyone on this call is just thinking we are all just cheering and praising the Lord, like, oh my gosh, just absolutely just thrills me so much. Absolutely just thrilling. So, okay. So what year did you start wearing the technology?
February of 2023, just a year ago.
Okay. So you started, sorry, didn't hear that. December of 2023? Say it again.
February.
February. Okay. For some reason it's cutting out. Okay. So it'll be in February 2020. So it'll be 2 years this coming February.
Correct. So next month will be a year and a half.
Next month will be a year and a half. Okay. Yeah, I mean, just absolutely incredible. And, and you're still seeing, because then you got another concussion, and then you're seeing all of a sudden the regeneration take place to where you can start thinking and studying, and your brain is working to do things, even though multiple concussions before just, sent you over the edge.
Correct. And you
Yeah.
met my daughter. And one thing that I remember this really well is somebody had asked her at one of these meetings, said, hey, I bet you it feels great to have your mother back. And my daughter surprised everyone and says, no, I don't have my mother back. I got a new and improved mother.
Yes. See, how can you even talk? Like, when she says stuff like that, I can't even talk after that. Oh my gosh. Like, that is just, there's nothing. There's nothing to be able to give you your life back like that with your kids, your daughter, your family, your ability to enjoy life. I'm so thankful that the technology found you, that this doctor was willing and open to use it with his patients, and that you were willing and open, to try it. And I'm just cheering for your whole family. Yeah, it's just absolutely amazing. I'm so sorry. I cried the first time too, and I couldn't talk. I thought surely I'd be able to keep it together this time. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, Veronica, for sharing with
My
us.
pleasure.
And
Thank you for inviting me.
yes, absolutely. So we have a few minutes left. I'm going to try to talk and tell you about what is Veronica talking about? What is this technology? What is this X39 that she's talking about? She showed you multiple times. She had one on her wrist. I have one on my elbow right here. It is completely non-transdermal. There is nothing transferring from the patch into your body. It's sealed on both sides. This works through photobiomodulation. It's just a fancy word for saying light making change in the body. You all know what this is because every time you step out into the sun and the sun hits your skin and it hits your eyes, it tells your body to make vitamin D and do what God designed it to do inside your body. If you look through night vision goggles and you see that heat signature, those different colors like in the movies when they're looking through night vision goggles, that is that low-grade infrared light that is being reflected from the crystal lattice structure that is inside of this patch that is reflecting back into our bodies, targeting a specific peptide called GHKCU. So this technology is FDA recognized and compliant as a general wellness product. It's a class 1 medical grade device, non-transdermal, like I said. It's made up of organic amino acids, salts, and sugars, medical grade plastic, hypoallergenic adhesive, 96% effective rate. And you heard Veronica say that David has told us that whatever we are getting ready to experience and that's coming out for us is going to make this even better. I don't know how you get better than 96%, but obviously there's 4% left there that we can get to 100. And as far as I know, everything that I've seen from David is he's always reaching for 100, because we have a God who is about 100%. He is about giving us life and giving it to the full. And he has designed our bodies to heal and work perfectly. And so when we study, as David has studied and looked at this, how can he support the body? When we study God's design, these are the kind of things that can happen when we support the way that we're designed because God has made us that way. This is extremely affordable. Okay, so let me just give you a little rundown really quick. If you're going to compare this, the only thing that even comes close is stem cell injections because GHKCU, the peptide that gets activated, activates dormant stem cells. Go online, Google GHK copper peptide, look it up on PubMed, see all the long list of things that it does. One thing that it does is activate dormant stem cells. A stem cell injection can do one thing in one area when you inject that area with stem cells. It's not guaranteed to work. You're paying thousands and thousands of dollars. Okay, so this technology, there is no other product like it in the world. It activates stem cells and then it does more. Okay, so you are getting even more than you would with something that's invasive and costs thousands and thousands of dollars. Okay, you are getting your cardiovascular system supported from the base. Everything, your heart, the blood vessels, the lining of your blood vessels are all being supported. Two major things in your body now that this in particular peptide does that when we support it and we activate it, what we have available to us. Okay. Veronica talked about her brain. So within 3 to 6 months of wearing this technology, that brain fog starts to go away, starts to clear up, cognition comes back, depression starts to lift, anxiety starts to lift because our brain is now supported properly like it needs to be. Wound healing. So she talked about, different surgeries and different scars. That begins to happen because the collagen in our body is supported. Okay, 3 major things in the body. Collagen is foundational to every single part of our body, supporting our tendons and our ligaments and our bones and our tissues. Three major things that this in particular peptide does. Okay, there is nothing else out there that you can do that will activate all of these three things at one time. Okay, fourth major thing, your immune system. This GHKCU supports your immune system. All of us want to. She talked about having viruses and things that her body was being attacked, that it needed to detox. So GHKCU elevates the glutathione in your body by 30%. So it's also helping to detox and move viruses out. Veronica was like, I have done my research. I want that glutathione patch also because it elevates your glutathione by 300 times in the body. So she wasn't going to just be satisfied with 30% because we have another technology that can even activate it and support it more to help that virus that she had going on move out of her body as quickly as possible. She knew she was not staying where she was, that she was going on to a better life, and she believed it, and she knew that the Lord could give it to her. And that's exactly what she's experiencing. So I have talked about 4 different major systems in our body that this in particular peptide elevates. There is not one other thing that you can do that is on this planet that will do what this technology does. So what the recommendation is, you wear this for 1 month for every decade you are old. Veronica, come back on, unmute. Will you ever stop patching?
No, not at all.
Right. Absolutely not. None of us want to start to have our age or go back to where we were. Like Veronica's daughter said, I have a whole new mom. She didn't even know this mom all of this was inside of Veronica, living life, enjoying her family, enjoying the creation around her that God has given us. She wanted all those things and her body wasn't letting her. And yet there is a technology that can help you experience and do all of these things when we just choose to just put on the patch, put on a sticker, go on down the road, get some education, know what it can do for you, and stick with it. I know Sandy was on the call. I don't know if she's still on the call. So when I listen to her story, I think of you, Sandy. Your day is coming. You're going to stick with it. Things happen to Veronica quickly. That doesn't always happen for everyone. And yet we have people like Sandy who say, I understand how this technology works. I understand that it's going to help me. She has all these things that she can list where it has helped her, and she is not giving up. Just like Veronica, inside of her, she knows that this is going to make a difference, and she's going to continue to persevere and continue to wear this technology so that she can get to experience all these things that Veronica has also gotten to experience because it has given her a new life. So 1 month for every decade you are old that we recommend, but please don't stop patching. As Veronica said, there was a list of things that she's still experiencing, that she's still on her healing journey. There's still more things in her body that she wants to be able to regenerate and have fixed. And she's believing that that is totally possible. And when we support what God has given us, it absolutely is possible. We absolutely believe that. So that is all I have. We have a couple more minutes. Does anybody have any questions for Veronica that we did not cover tonight? You can raise your hand, you can unmute, you can type something in the chat.
Great testimony, Veronica. Thank you for sharing with us.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for inviting me.
And I'd like to say something, as a pastor, I'd like to say something to you about that, because I truly believe, like Nikki said, we're fearfully yet wonderfully made. We are made with a desire so that we may have life and that we live it more abundantly. So that abundant life is now available to every single one of us. And your testimony can give us all hope that we can receive that healing as well. Thank you.
Yes. Oh, you're welcome. I do. I say, God, I know you speak to me through others. Use me to speak to others. Who can I help today? If there's somebody out there that's suffering needlessly, I say that now because now knowing what's happened, that with all my heart and soul and conviction, I tell people when they ask me, can I help this? Can I help that? Yes, 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 because the body's intelligent enough. It knows what it needs. When I So nobody was thinking it was going to seal this hole in my eye or fix the inner ear damage or remove the scarring on my liver. No one thought that. But look, it's happened. And you hear David say that a lot. People are coming and sharing things that they never thought could ever happen with that technology because we're all individuals. And I guess my body and I really wanted to heal. And like the doctor said, you respond well to energetic medicine.
Yes, that's awesome. That's so awesome. Yes. And I don't know if you can see the chat, Veronica, but everyone's like, what a miraculous transformation. Praise the Lord. Congratulations on your health improvements. What an amazing testimony. So we are just so grateful that you're willing to come and to share with us. And we are just so, yes, so thankful for you taking 30 minutes out of your evening just to be with us and to share with us. So yes, Vicky's saying, I can't talk because I'm crying. Yes, exactly. So, yeah, here I am. I get it totally. But yes, so anyway, we've passed our 30 minutes, but we just pray blessing over each and every one of you. And so thank you so much for joining us tonight, everyone. God bless. Good evening.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye, everyone. Thank you, Veronica.